bit of anatomy. Can you tell us what tamborceps are?
Oh, I sure can. I've never been asked that on an interview, and I'm a little bit embarrassed. Tambriceps are the areas in your upper arms that you want to grow extremely strong to keep a steady rhythm when you are playing the tambourine. And that
There
is
you go.
something I've been working really hard on with you. And
That
I
is
think
that
it
is
sounds pretty great.
yeah, it's a
Yeah,
proper anatomical term. I mean, you write about big butts, so
100%.
yeah, yeah.
100%. Yeah,
You're
yeah,
ready for that question.
yeah,
That's amazing.
Tambriceps. I love
That's
that.
awesome. The Big Butt Book, and we say it's a graphic novel. Somebody might hear the title, think in their mind what a graphic novel
Oh,
could
yeah.
could be.
Could be
Um,
pictures of.
could be pictures of. Before we go back and kind of get your story about why you thought this book needed to be written, can you tell us a little bit about the style you chose? What is a graphic novel, and why this book is so different?
Yes, I would love. Thank you for asking me that because that is pretty much the foundation of why I came out with this book. I have written two books previously and thought, wow, they're filled with so many words and no one reads anymore. Also, I find that in the coaching industry, a lot of us take it very seriously. So all coaching books are written with such gravitas. And I thought, what is a good way that I can convey to my clients? We're going to have a lot of fun. We don't need to be so serious. I know we're going to talk about your business, but business does not have to be boring. And I thought the best way to do that would be to not only make it a graphic novel, which, like any, I don't know, Marvel comic book you've ever read, same style, but I knew that I would be printing it in black and white on Amazon, not in color. So I thought, oh, this could also double as a coloring book, which everyone needs right now to calm themselves down. So it serves multiple purpose.
I
And
love it.
yeah,
Oh, I have colored one page, which I'll show the audience here in a minute. I have colored one page, and
that's,
I I loved it. It was calming, but I
thank
put it
you.
off and put it off and put it off for the exact reason that you put it in the book. I don't feel like I'm accomplishing anything. I could be doing something busier. If I'm coloring, I'm not listening to a podcast at 2x the speed, which I do all day, every day. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like that
yeah.
actually got me to like settle down and actually take a second to just. I'm just here to color.
I love that. And I love that you did. Thank you for doing that. I didn't want to make a heavy duty book, but I wanted to collect all of the buts that I've heard from my clients. But I don't have enough time, but I don't have enough money, but I don't have enough knowledge. Whatever thing they've made up that stops them from moving forward, I wanted to get into the book in some way, shape, or form. So the overarching picture for folks who are listening and haven't read it, there are five different characters, each of which is sort of an amalgamation of a bunch of butts that I've heard. And so they each have their own personalities, their own problems, their own fears. And then at the end, they all meet up at a conference. And silly things ensue. But everybody I know that's looked through it or read it or colored a page finds some character that grosses them out because they email me and say, Jill, I'm that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that happened to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh,
As
sorry.
fun and silly as it was also like, oh, I'm so triggered by this. I don't want to do this. I resist it so hard.
Oh, sorry. Well, the title
Yeah,
is its own trigger warning. Okay.
that's true.
So,
That
so
is
I'm
true.
sorry, but I'm not sorry.
I know you're not sorry, and I don't want you to be sorry, but it's around very serious things. It can be silly, it can be
Yeah.
light, but
Yeah.
also the character that triggered me the most. And we'll get into more details about the book in a second. I just want you to know the character in the book, the very first one, was the one that I read. She was trying to establish her prices. She was trying to follow up with past clients that for whatever reason has dropped off. I I hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it,
No way.
hate it.
No
I hate
way.
it. Yes,
Oh,
I will do anything. I'll
fascinating.
resist it all the time. I
Okay.
hate raising prices. I've always had
Yeah.
a really tough time
Yeah.
setting what should be a fair rate. A lot of people don't understand, like
Oh,
for a personal trainer, we're doing our session that whatever time that session is the time that it is. But I'm
yes.
spending the rest of my time learning, studying, shaping. program designing, thinking about
Yeah.
how this is going to change next time. What are people's goals? You're shuffling all that stuff around. And last weekend is a really good example. I already work 5, 6 days, 7 days a week usually. Last week I took a quote unquote mini vacation. That mini vacation was to a
Mm,
conference to go learn more stuff in
right.
person. So
Right.
again, when I'm thinking
Yeah.
about setting a price, I'm thinking about just the time without thinking about all the other time in the background to be able to give the biggest value and have the most education for my clients. You know what I mean? But I resist it. I hate
Oh,
it.
oh yeah. So I'm not going to reveal that every single one of the characters in the book is a piece of me. I will not talk about that today. But I will say you're talking about the character whose name is Gregarious Griselda. And I will say I find she exists in everyone that I know that loves people, really social, cares a lot about the clients that they work with, and they don't want to offend people, and they have so much value to provide, but they don't want to hurt you, push you away, demand anything. And I have to say, there are very few people I know who are not gregarious Griselda or weren't at some point in their lives.
Yeah.
Lives? I said lives.
Nice.
I'm an
Exactly.
author. Mhm.
Well, I appreciate that, and again, I'm glad you're not sorry because it's something that I need to continue confronting and
Yeah,
dealing with and
yeah,
working with. So again, we'll talk a little bit more detail about the book. We talked about your story last time. The
yes.
part I want to focus on the most is you kind of got into business, something you didn't think you were going to get into in the beginning, music related. Love to hear
For
about
sure.
that.
For
You
sure.
started many successful businesses with all kinds of different things you didn't think you were going to get into. And then something kind of shifted in your career where you started to not want necessarily to be the entrepreneur, run all the businesses, start new businesses, sell them off, whatever. You wanted to get into coaching. And as I've been preparing for this episode, I've been reflecting and thinking like as I know my audience, we have actually a ton of people that are formal coaches that listen in on this stuff and want to get better at it. And we also have people like Robin Dobbins, our mutual friend, who is
Yeah.
also a coach and a very, very good one. And she's also just trying to make an impact in her sphere with her podcast and with the coaching she does do with her work with Metabolic Collective. And so this topic, I think, is so relevant for all of us trying
Mm.
to make an impact, influence somebody out there, steer them in the right direction. So again, going back to your own personal story, how did your career evolve from starting businesses, running businesses, to then helping other people out there with the same thing?
Yeah, thank you for asking that. It's very loaded and we don't have enough hours to get that thoroughly, but I spent the first part of my career launching a lot of things, and I love how you describe it as though I succeeded at all of them. There were 1,000 fails woven into all of them. But I was sort of doing the trial and error, learn by mistake, kind of beginning piece of my career. And then I settled into this area that was very comfortable for me, I should say, which was helping folks with the very superficial things you need to get better at in a business, the structure of business, like your sales and your marketing and your branding. And I got really good at providing tips and tricks and throwing tips out on Twitter or Facebook or Insta. And I'm saying all of that with a tone because it was all, again, very superficial. And I realized, oh, the juice in all of this, the deliciousness, the reason a lot of us who go into coaching want to go into coaching is because the reason you're not succeeding in the area that you're not succeeding in is not because you don't know how to do marketing or you don't know how to do sales. It's because you have these underlying emotional blocks that are blocking you from moving forward. I'm scared to raise my prices. I'm scared to have my time back. I'm scared to whatever, fill in the blank. And I realized that's the place I want to, as woo as it sounds, that's the place I want to hold space for people and let them sit in it and realize, oh, that's sitting there in the way. Move it away with them and sort of light a fire under their big butts and move them forward.